Hello everybody, good morning to one and all. I am Kranth and I will be teaching you something about Introduction to Computers and Fundamentals of Computers. And we were been talking about Fundamentals of Computers, and in Fundamentals of Computers we were been talking about MS Word. So when I speak about MS Word, today we have been, the other day we were been learning about what is MS Word and how to use the MS Words, and we are going to each and every tabs day by day. So today we are going to go a little deep into understanding what is MS Word and what are the internal components, especially when I come to headers and footers. Today we are going to discuss about the MS Word and its headers and footers. Right. So if you can see the slide here. Yes, when I speak about Introduction to Computers is always that when we learn something and when we understand something and we implement something, that is how when we say Introduction to Computers. All right. So now I just want you to take you to the main heading, or to add headers and footers into MS Word, or what is that headers and footers are going to help you in forwarding your process. So if you can see here, to add headers and footers, click the Insert tab. That is, you just have to go to Insert first, and then go for header, and then right beside that or right below that you have footer. For this example, we'll start with adding a header. So in the header and footer section of the Insert tab, click Header. A list of built-in header layouts display on the down menu. Scroll down for additional layouts. And select a ready-made header layout from the list. So I'll just give you a basic example on how to basically look at the header or create a header. I'll just show you. I'll just give you a clear example. So here we are. Let's open Microsoft Word. So we have Microsoft Word, which we are supposed to open, and we have been doing so many things in MS Word, and today we will be learning about headers and footers. So let's go to Insert tab and then go for the headers and footers. If you can see here, we have header, footer. So though it is 2007, it is like this. I mean, depends upon the offices and its upgrades. You have different kinds of locations, it just changes, as we are seeing in the presentation. We have header, footer in this way, right? It's 2010. So when we see here, we have it here, right? So this is what you just have to remember. Whenever I select or I click the header, I have different kinds of headers, See, these are all headings that you can actually mention. Easy, isn't it? So many people have a problem of putting headers, isn't it? So I'll be telling you today on how to actually add a header initially. So before I go ahead and select one, let me go through the PPT ones. Okay. So here is the example that I have mentioned. For this example, we'll start with adding a header. So in the header and footer section of the Insert tab, click Header. This is how you actually go and open the header. A list of built-in header layouts display on the drop-down menu. Scroll down for additional layouts and select a ready-made header layout from the list. So I have shown you the ready-made list, isn't it? So for your understanding, I'll just go take you to the headers once again, and I'll show you some basic layouts which are ready-made layouts here. You can add any of the headers. You can edit the header, you can remove the header, and etc. and etc. Alright? Alright, so now I'll just give you a basic idea about footers also. So these are some basic footers that we have in the Word. Alright? So now let's go. This is the introduction about the headers and footers. So now as we can see here, this is what I have put here. Now to add headers and footers, the predefined layout is inserted into the header, which is marked by a dashed line and a header tag. Most ready-made headers contain some placeholder text. In the ready-made header, we choose the document title from the advanced properties was inserted into our header. You can keep the placeholder text or replace it with your own text. Note that the text in the main body of your document is grayed out. You cannot edit the text in the body of the document while you are editing the header or footer. When we are done editing the header and footer, we'll show you how to go back to editing your document. This simply means whenever you are basically applying or whenever you are basically doing some things on header or footer, or if you have given a header on top of your resume or on your presentation or your resume, the only thing that you have to remember is whenever you are editing your header, you really can't touch the other text down the headers. That means you really can't go for the body and edit that, because that will grayed out. Obviously that will be logged out, so that you can't edit that. So once you are done with the headers and once you come down, then only you guys can edit that. So make sure you edit the header properly and then move on for the next topic. Alright, so I'll show you the basic idea on how it actually presents. Alright, so let us see here. So I'll take you with the Windows Word, and when I say Microsoft Word, I have said in insert we have a header, and I'll just go down and place a neat header. So let us place this. This is actually looking good. So, or we have different kinds of headers anyway, but most often let us go for a classic one because it should not look awkward. So this is nice. Alright. So now you can basically edit the header, you can put whatever you want. APSSDC, and then I will try to, change the text color to black. Then I'll make it bold, and then I'll just give a heading of what we are doing. So I have given a heading here, and let's put an year here. We can also edit the date here. Let's put this as the same. Okay, or we can basically put this date too. So this is the header. So once I go here, if you can see, this is grayed out. I mean, I can't edit this. See, I'm not able to edit this. Yes or no? So yes, I'm really not able to edit this because it have grayed out. I mean, this have got logged. At the same time, if I double click on the same place, you know, we can go there. All right. So if you can double click here, you can go to the header. Or again, if you double click down, you'll come to the main body. So APSSDC is an educational approach for every individual. Okay, so I have mentioned a point. So if you can see, once I am editing this, I can't edit, or I can't just touch this. See, I'm not able to touch this. So once I double click here again, I can go here. Once I double click here, because once this is done, it will be, we just can edit through while we are going there. But when you are here, this is a heading which can't. This is the heading which can't be actually disturbed. So this is the most important thing that you have to remember whenever I speak about Microsoft Word. All right. So yeah, so this is a basic example I have given you. If you can see, this is shaded out. So that is what I have mentioned in the PowerPoint. And now, most ready-made headers contain some placeholder text. See, most of the ready-made, obviously when you go for the ready-made clothes, you can find you know, obviously stylish clothes. You don't need to stitch them or something, isn't it? So as I have said you already, ready-made PPTs or ready-made words or ready-made heads, ready-made you know, PowerPoints and Windows words also have few consisting and involved or already involved text that is already put into there. So once you open that, you can actually edit that, or you can basically add something for that normal text. This is what I can just tell you. So let us see the slide here. Notice that the text in the main body of your document is grayed out. You cannot edit in text in the body of the document while you are editing the header of the footer. When we are done editing the header and footer, we'll show you how to go back to editing your document. So that's what I have said you already. Now let us go for the next slide. This is a basic example of a header that I have mentioned here. So at the same time, you can basically add anything, or you can remove anything from the header too. That doesn't mean you should not put anything in the headers or something, or you should basically only use you know, mentioned headers, or you know, by default headers are the only thing. Don't ever think that you should only use default headers there, or you should just use default styles there. You can use any kind of style, and you can literally concentrate on developing your own style or customizing your own kind of document on whatever progress you are into. So this is what I can just tell you. And now let me take you with the next one, that is, once you set up your header, you can easily jump to the footer to set it up. To do this, click Go to Footer in the navigation section of the Design tab under the Header and Foot tools. So this is where you can basically go through the editing of this. I'll just show you. So you have added a header, and once when I select the header, obviously you have few options which are actually being displayed here. So you can go to footer by just clicking to this. So you know, you can also add something in the footer. For example, you know, an educational an educational approach. So I'll edit this. I'll just make it bold and italic. Oops, I have missed on A if I'm not wrong, right, people? Select all, make it bold and italic. This is how you can put the footer. So you can see here, this is the header and this is the footer. So once you select that, you have go to footer. In the design, you have go to footer options. That's what I have mentioned here, right? Go to footer. You can basically go to footer and put a footer, and you can edit that. So that's what I have mentioned. And now you have, see, that's what you can insert items such as page numbers in your footer using the page number button in the header and footer section of the design tab under the header and footer tools heading. So let's see that, and how can we actually put the page number. So this is it. So if you can see, it is a 2007 Windows Microsoft Office, and I was telling you about go to footer, and then we have page number, which you can add like your own way on exactly how you want to mention. See, so you have added header as the page number. Alright, so this is one of the examples that I just want to give it to you. So we were like this before, and then if you want to add some numbers or page numbers, always remember, guys, what you just have to do is go to insert, and you're gonna have headers. When you go for headers, especially once you double click here, you have header, right? So when you go for the design of the headers, you have go to footer, where you can go to footer and edit the footer. The same time you have page numbers, where you can basically mention beside or bottom or vertical right. So vertical right would be good, because that is how it's going to give a good impact. See, so here you have page number 1, right? So this give a good impact, all the way writing there is like literally big task. So it is default thing that we have when I speak about the Word. So this is one of the most important things I was actually telling you about the MS Word, and in MS Word we are still just looking about the headers and footers, and in headers and footers we have so many things to learn, and how to add the headings and how to edit the headings is what we are actually learning now, right? So let us see more about the headers and footers. So let us see the slide here. You can insert items such as page numbers in your footer using the page number button in the header and footer section of the design tab under the header and footer tools heading. So here is something which I have already shown you on Windows panel. So that's how you actually do the editing, and you can put anything that you actually want to. Okay, so now let us see the next slide. When you are finished setting up your header and footer, you can go back to editing your document by clicking the close header and footer button in the close section of the header and footer design tab. You can also double click on the grayed out text in the main body of the document to return to editing it. So here is a close header and footer, and where is that? I'll show you. So let me take you to the document here, and so once I am here, you have, I'll show you very clearly. So once you are into this, make sure you put the cursor in the last of it and go for the design panel which you have. So click on that. You already have seen go to footer, you have seen so many things, header, footer, page number, date and time, etc., etc. But there is something called as close header and footer. So once you do that, it closes. So once you click the close header, you can come back and you can do anything that you want. Hi, I am a student from APSSDC. So this is what I have typed here, and though it have, I'm very sorry. So this is what is basically that you have to remember, and once the header is done, you can't basically edit that, or nothing can be disturbed. It'll just go. As you keep editing it, it keeps getting edited. So that's what you just have to remember whenever I speak about headers and footers in the MS Word. Now let me show you how to close it. So closing was done. I'll open you presentation. So read it once again. When you are finished setting up your header and footer, you can go back to editing your document by clicking the close header and footer button in the close section of the header and footer design tab. You can also double click on the grayed out text in the main body of the document to return to editing it. So I have showed you the long cut where you just have to go directly to the close and footer option, or by double clicking that on the grayed text can also make you go there instantly. So now I have something to say here. If you want to insert an empty header so you can add your own text or images to it, you have to remove placeholder text, click the header, put button in the header and footer section of the insert tab and select edit header from the drop down menu. Note, you can do the same thing for the footer using the footer button. So now I'll show you. So we have written so much here. We have written APSSDC, we have written 2017 and all. So instead of that, what I'll do, I'll basically go to insert in header. I'll go for a basic header. I'm adding a new one. Rather, you can just see that's how we have added, or you can basically put it straight. There's nothing now, so I'll put a header. Let's keep a classic one. So you want to edit something, you can just put on. So been talking about fundamentals of computer. So I have given the organization name, the fundamentals of computer which I'm teaching. Then we have through. So this is what you just have to remember whenever I speak about MS Word, and especially in MS Word, we were been talking about the headers and footers. So this is how you actually put the header, and then once you double click there, so this will form as a header out here, so that it looks very good for somebody who is viewing your MS Word. So this is the most important thing that you have to remember whenever I speak about the headers and footers. So now let me take you with the next slide and the importance of it. Oh wow, you can also add. I'll give you an example. We can also add the header designs. For example, if you can see, okay, there are not so many varieties out here, so let us have one design of what we already have. So I have put this, which is not looking good, right? So let us go here, press Ctrl Z, that is an undo option, to see what we have done. So here is a heading that we have mentioned, and if you want to add some designs or something, you still can do it. One of the best examples. So let us go. I also have mentioned note here. You can do the same thing for the footer using the footer button. For example, let me take you here. It's not only about there, you can also edit here. So once you go to the footer page, you can put this, mentioning APSSDC. What page you are into. Done. So I have given a footer, and also I have given a header. Such a neat header and footer, where if I go back and if I mention, for example, I have said you, usually we have so many things that to be discussed. So I'll minimize this. I'll go to the desktop. I'll copy something. We have APSSDC part file. So we'll copy all, Control C. And let's open here. I have done, and if you want to do anything here on the footer too, you can basically go to the footer. So this is the footer thing that we have, or if you can double click here, obviously you can see the logo out here. So this is what you just have to remember whenever I speak about the basic usage of the header and footer, and these headers and footers are the most important things that you have to remember whenever you are giving an amazing presentation, irrespective of where you are giving, but this will make an effective viewings for the people, and it will obviously have a good impression on you because you have given an amazing presentation at the end of the day. So let us see the next thing that we are been learning about. So let us go back to the presentations. So if you can see here, I will just make you go with the presentation that we were into. So these presentations basically will help you in understanding how exactly you want to do, and this obviously I'll tell you once when you are into a section where you want you have downloaded or something, or when I say when I have downloaded an presentation, and if you want to edit this, for example this is a presentation that we are going with, and if you want to edit that, we have also headers and footers everywhere. Irrespective of it is a presentation or if it is a word, anywhere you go you can find the basic IDs of the headers and footers, because without a heading or without a heading, nothing will be explained or nothing can be understood, because a heading will obviously put a great impact for the viewers or for the listeners. That is what I just want to tell you today about the headers and footers. And when I speak about the headers, it's not only about how have you styled your heading or how exactly you have customized your heading, it's also about what heading are you giving and what does it symbolize for. For example, if you're just giving a simple sentence as a heading, that won't give a proper ideology for the people who are viewing that, isn't it? So you just have to always concentrate on the spelling of what you are typing over there and how it actually would affect the person, or how would actually give it, or you can say how it would actually help people from understanding it. So that is what I just want to tell you today about the headers and footers. Let me take you with the next one, that is, yes, if you can see here, now you can add your own text and images to your header. Format the text or image however you like, such as centering the line or making the text bold and applying a bigger font. So as I have said you, as much as stylish or as much are you updating your header, make sure your header have some editings done, because don't just put all the default things in the word, because that won't symbolizes your hard work. So always make sure whenever you are putting a header, you are doing a lot of customization to that by as I have said. You see, I'll show you an example. Let us see here. Let us go to our word, what we were been doing. So we have the header out here. So here we have bold text, right? So why can't we just edit little? Let us make this as non-bold. So I have mentioned it is not looking good, isn't it? So let's make it bold. All right. So what have happened? The entire header have become bold, and let us change the color of it. So when I'm showing the header, the only thing that you have to remember is you can just go to the home, edit the text to red. So see, once you see your header, it's amazing, isn't it? So or else we can also make sure you can put it in Italian font, where if you can see here. something mentioned as, yes, something mentioned as the header properly. So this will give an amazing look about what we are doing and how it actually represents your hard work, because see people, everybody can do Microsoft Word. It's not like everybody doesn't know what is a Microsoft Word, but when you're doing Microsoft, how are you doing is also a step to remind yourself, because whenever you visit, see I'll tell you, I'll give you a very basic example. Whenever you are in school, we used to put some covers to our notebooks and use it very safe, isn't it? So whenever you open the notebook, you feel like reading. So that is what when I speak about here. When you are sending your Word text to anybody, if you want them to go through your Word properly and if they want to get some concentration through the Word, the only thing that you have to do is put a proper heading and a footer. So this word will make a proper understanding on what you want to express on the Word. So these headers and footers are very important, never forget that. So let us see the next slide here. Headers and footers can be different or odd and even pages. To make different headers and footers for odd and even numbered pages, click the different odd and even pages check box in the options section of the design tab under the header and footer tools heading. So there is a check mark in the box. So whenever I'm speaking about the headers and footers, yes, you can, you know, you can put different footers or headers, because see it's all about adding and it's all about deleting. So whenever I speak about putting a heading or defining a heading, it's just that you have to concentrate on how exactly you're doing and what text and what fonts you're giving for the text. But make sure people, headings are always important for whatever work file you do, because heading itself simplifies your understanding to the viewer. So that is what I really want to say here and communicate to you. Alright, so let us see the next slide here. So we have different odd and even pages. That is where you can find, for example, so once we go to the design, we have different odd and even pages. So just click on that. So this is what you just have to remember. Once you put different odd and even pages, this will help you out in understanding how exactly you want to mention that in the presentation. So today we were been talking about the headers and footers in the MS Word, and this will help you in putting up a great presentations for forward understanding of the customers or the viewers or the clients. So always remember guys, whenever you're going for a presentation or whenever you are editing your resume, make sure you have a proper heading and as well as a footer. So heading is not about that you have to give only colors in the headers, or you can customize your text, you can put anything on the header, but make sure it is really professional and classic, so that anybody who is viewing it will have a good opinion on you and as well as the PPT that you have done. Alright, so thank you so much for being patient and listening to the class today about the headers and footers in MS Word. We will be learning more classes about MS Word, and probably we'll be finishing it in the next session about the MS Word, and we'll go forward in understanding more about the MS Word. So thank you so much for listening to the class and being patient, and I'll be taking more classes for you about the fundamentals of computers. And please share this video if somebody is really in need of MS Word and its uses. So I am Kranth and I'll be taking more classes, and I am from APSSDC.